On today's episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, we're going to go back and look at former Carolina Panther. One whose time in Charlotte ended well before it needed to, but kind of his own demise, folks. Before we get into today's video, I want to make sure you hit that like button. Also, hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos like this on the Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, Charlotte Hornets, and major college sports in the Carolinas. Leave me some comments. I appreciate the positive feedbacks. And by all means, folks, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. All right, folks, I'm doing a video today, and I kind of want this one individual. Kind of got looking back, and just somehow I was just looking on the internet. Person's name came up because now they're an MMA fighter, and I think they got beat in a fight. But Greg Hardy and his short career with the Carolina Panthers. You know, you're talking about a guy that came in, played from 2010 to 2014. He was a 6th-round pick, number 175 out of Ole Miss. Now, potentially, he should have went higher, but he did have some off-the-field issues and some problems, and it kind of hurt him a little bit in the draft process. Probably should have been like a 2nd, 3rd rounder, but he had a lot of potential. But he comes in, the guy right away, he had a learning curve. He had guys here like Charles Johnson teaching him the rope. The versatility of Greg Hardy, though, was, folks, that the guy could play defensive end, and he was strong enough to play defensive tackle. He could hold the point of attack, go on the outside. He has some serious pass rushing moves, folks. But the pinnacle for Greg Hardy was the team that got upset by San Francisco the 2013 season. The first Ron Rivera playoff team. He made the Pro Bowl that year, and he was 2nd team All-Pro. But he was a monster. He was a beast. He just ripped opposing quarterbacks apart. And offensive lines were having a hard time between him and Charles Johnson and some of the other players we had. Keekly was very young. Of course, TD was here, and we just, you know, Josh Norman was kind of priming out himself, starting to develop. And he was just an incredible contributor. And that 2013 team for the Panthers was probably the best defensive team that we had. Just really, I feel they were far better than the 2015 team that went 15-1 into the Super Bowl. Our offense really wasn't there in 2013 yet. But like I said, he played 63 career games for the Panthers, and he had 40 starts, 34 sacks in his time with the Panthers, 203 overall tackles. Now, we know about him. I blame a lot of this because you had the running back from Baltimore that got in trouble over the domestic violence issues. Greg Hardy was dating a girl who was kind of, well, she was kind of wild, and she was messing with Nellie, who was a minority owner of the Charlotte Bobcats. And I think Greg Hardy got a hold of it, tried to kick her out, moved her stuff out while she's going on vacation, and what she thought he'd send her on vacation. She somehow works her way back in, and she gets abused evidently, or saying she's been hit, and handguns. And, you know, Greg Hardy facing some serious charges here. And, you know, the NFL comes in, and they put him on this suspension because of domestic violence, and the timing was terrible. But he only played in, like, a couple of games, I believe, for the Panthers. The year was 7-8-1 and made the playoffs. And it really was a remarkable run, the fact we lost him, because I think we would have been a better team and a higher seeded team, and we could have went further. But I can only imagine if Greg Hardy would have been here for 2015 when we're making that championship run to the Super Bowl, if he would have been at his peak with this team, how good he would have been. Because, folks, he came back in 2015 and played for Dallas. Played in 12 games, started 12 games, had 35 tackles, but 6 sacks. But he was a shell of himself. He wasn't the man he was before. And I just kind of want to do a tribute to him, because he never ended up living up to the billing of what he was. And it's because of these episodes off the field that cost the man these demons are haunting him, cost his career. Because there was a time in 2013, and folks, I'm telling you, if he doesn't get in trouble, the man is only getting better. And like I said, 2014, 2015, we would have been so much better with him on that defensive front line. And like I said, you can imagine him in 2015. Look, Coney Ely, if we'd have won Super Bowl 50, Coney Ely probably would have been the MVP. And he was someone who kind of played the role that Greg Hardy had. And as good as Coney Ely was in that Super Bowl with an interception and some sacks and some tackles and just played well, if Greg Hardy would have been there instead, Peyton Manning would have had a nightmare. And I just think he would have done that much more. But like I said, this is just my contributions for Greg Hardy. I'm just kind of throwing it out there and letting people know, just don't forget the guy, because for a short period of time, for a few years here for the Carolina Panthers, he was truly a beast. And he never lived up to that full billing. And it's a shame. Okay, folks, what do you think of today's video? Leave me some comments. Pound that bell notification to be notified of future content. Like today's video. Pound that like button. And by all means, folks, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And we will see you on another episode of the Carolina Sports Guy.